Hey guys, welcome to Otaku Talk. I'm OD, and let's get started reviewing chapter 152 of Dr. Stone. So, we finally reached America. Looks like they're in San Francisco, and at some point I plan on doing some research and looking up exactly like the natural resources of San Francisco and other agricultural stuff that they're known to have, so I can kind of, predict what we might discover, might see, rationale behind the equipment, the factory and stuff that we discovered they have. But I'll do that at a later date. Anyway, so just some quick thoughts I have on the chapter. Honestly, it's super amazing. I'm super excited. So let me get off some general ideas and then we'll go a little bit deeper into it. So first of all, I think one of the most interesting things is it's kind of convenient that they know Japanese, but it's a manga and we have times all the time where people go different places and they just happen to know the language, and it's we don't really have to lose our suspension of disbelief, because the fact that they're geniuses makes it a little bit more like reasonable. They can be polylinguistic as far as we know. But it's a little bit weird that, the people of Ishigami know English, but hey, whatever, it's necessary for the story, so I understand that part. In addition to that, Gen using Taiju as a body double, brilliant idea, not even something I would have thought of. It completely protects Senku from, immediate capture, because, he is the, general, if you'll say, of this, like all this. He's the mastermind, he's the brain, so like if they get to him, they completely dismantle the entire science kingdom. So I think that was a great move on his part to protect Senku, and also not just to protect Senku, the rest of them, as we know that my boy Taiju has ridiculous durability and stamina. So I would love to see how far they can keep this ruse going against someone who seems to be of equal intellect to Senku. At this point in time, we have no clue who's smarter. We just know that they're both really smart geniuses, and so we'll see where that leads us to. The other scientist seems very cocky, and he seems to be underestimating them. And as we've learned that from the entire story, you never want to underestimate Senku. You never want to do it. He's brilliant. He always has some kind of plan, some kind of contingency. Even back earlier when he let Mans chop him in the back of his neck so that he pretended to die, like that was simply brilliant. So Senku is not someone to be underestimated at all. Right. So let's just talk about Dr. Zeno real quick. I'm very interested in this new villain. First of all, let's start off from his revival. As we know, as Senku has shown, that only those that have kept their mind conscious for all 3,000 and whatever years are able to be revived with just a little bit of nitric acid, which honestly is a feat in and of itself. So we already know that he's on that level. So on top of that, I have some questions. So as some of you might know, the brain uses up a lot of energy. Back when I took anatomy and physiology, I used to know the exact amount. However, I don't. I need to brush up. I'm not Senku. But anyway, the brain utilizes a lot of energy. And as we know, all the petrified people, once they're unpetrified, they come back, completely intact. And, you would think that, without air, without food, they wouldn't be able to sustain their bodies. Now, once again, suspension of disbelief. It's a manga, I get it, but they said something earlier on the series that has always stuck with me, and that's that where was the energy to provide his brain coming from, or the energy necessary for his brain to work coming from. And so I think that's another thing that we're going to find out, look into, when it comes to the the whole idea of petrification and all that. Now, Dr. Zeno has a huge scar going on his face. And as we found out earlier, we know that that's from places where, the petrified stone got damaged and upon revival got repaired. So it makes us wonder exactly where he was when this happened, exactly what happened to him, and his experiences once he became unpetrified. Also, another really, really, really important question we have to ask ourselves is, how long was he petrified? How long was he petrified, and was he depetrified before or after Senku? How much time has he had to work on this army slash civilization slash kingdom that he's come to have? For example, I think one of the biggest parts of this arc, the New America arc, is going to be that Haberbosch plant. Like, oh my God, that is so vital to this story right now. The amount of ammonia that one can produce with that, the sheer amount of weapons we can build, as well as revival fluid, is going to be so advantageous and important to our heroes, Senku and the Science Kingdom. With that, not only can they arm themselves against other potential threats, because this is just the first step. We're just in one section of America, San Francisco. We don't know how far they're going to venture into New America. We don't know what other people have been revived in America or Japan, or maybe anywhere else they decide to frequent. So weapons are going to be very, very important, especially with our non-warrior combatants. They need some kind of leveling field. And then on top of that, having enough revival fluid to revive everyone. First of all, I have no clue how they're going to do that. I don't see how it's possible to revive everyone. On top of that, there's going to be many people that have their petrified states shattered, and I don't think Homegirl can go around and glue and patch and craft all of them, and the way to disperse it once again is going to be ridiculous. I feel like this doesn't really seem like something possible, but the only way I can think of that it is even feasible is to build some kind of weather machine, pump clouds full of revival fluid, and allow it to rain down and unpetrify people. Once again, I don't know if that's stupid or not, but I just don't see how you're going to revive billions of people. That's just me. So I am really, really excited for this arc, as you can obviously tell, mainly because when this story started, all Senku had was science. He had to deal with all the elements, he had to deal with so much stuff, and all he had on his side was science. So the first confrontation was between him and Tsukasa, I believe that's his name. And that was brain versus brawn. And he was able to use brain and overcome. Then the next big conflict we have, skipping over Ishigami Village's Petrification Village, where we are introduced for the first time to a semi-structured civilization. But once again, not really smart. They were clever, but didn't really have all of science mastered. They were also a warrior race. So once again, mainly brain versus brawn with some kind of organization. This will be the first time Senku and gang goes against a technocracy. And I think that's going to be super cool because we're going to see a lot more bolder strategies. We're going to see, I'm telling you right now, some of Senku's plans are not going to work. When you have someone that's around the same mental capacity as you, it's like playing chess. They're going to be playing chess this entire time, trying to predict what the other person is doing. And, obviously, this is about Dr. Stone, Senku. But at the end of the day, we're going to have some drama. We're going to have some misdirection. And, there's going to be moments where Dr. Xenos shines. And I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see this battle of wits. And it's going to be awesome. Also, another thing that I'm really excited for is I think this is going to be the power team's time to shine. So like I said earlier, it's always been about science versus brawn. But now brawn is on the side of science. It's like that one song, I'll be the brains, you be the brawn. Let's make some money. So it's the same thing except let's save lives. And so I think this is going to be Tsukasa's time to shine, Kirisama's time to shine, Hyoga's time to shine, Kohaku's time to shine, Matsukaze's time to shine. Because, they have this incredible elite general in Senku that is going to go around and direct these, not armed, but, these really strong forces around to get things done. Also, on top of that, I'm really, really excited for the development of weapons. Like I said earlier, this Haberbosch plant changes the whole game. And I think it's going to give Yo and Ukyo huge advantages. And for those of you that don't remember, and I might be butchering their name, Yukio is the one with the tremendous hearing and that was doing all the archery. Can you imagine him, with a sniper of some sort, some long range weaponry? Like he's gonna be on point with with semi-modern day weapons. And then Yo was the police officer, so he has some familiarity with guns. So I think this is another thing for them, and maybe they can start building metal weapons. I think right now they only have spears, whatever. But I think they can build, well, I guess you don't really need swords in this time, but I just don't think everyone will be really good with a gun, and some people would prefer to fight without a gun. I just know certain warrior types prefer to be without a gun, but this is incredible. And outside of guns, what else can we make? If they have the technology to make guns, we can make armored vehicles, commodities and other things. So the sky's the limits in terms of the possibilities right now. Also, is there metal around? Because it seemed like the guns on the plane were made out of metal. It seemed like she, the ones, I like to call her Samus or whatever, because she kind of reminded me of Samus. It kind of looked like she had some metal armor going on. So do they have metal? Because metal is such a important, viable resource. And so the more resources Senku has to work with, the more he can simply do. And lastly, I'm super excited for the information team. They get a chance to shine. In war, in battle, information is power. Being a step ahead of your opponent is power. So getting, usable, viable information from our information team, relaying it back to Senku, who can process it, analyze it, comprehend it, and, send it out. You do this, you do that. I think is phenomenal. So that's going to be great. Had some questions on how exactly their radio frequency was hacked, located. If it's a regular radio where you just have to be on their channel, okay, that makes sense, because you could just, happen to be on that channel, which once again is lucky but suspension of disbelief. But if they have some kind of technology to locate and track based upon radio waves, I think that's a little bit much. But once again, I'm not a professional. I'm not knowledgeable about stuff like that. So, maybe there is a way with minuscule technology you can locate and track other people using equally minuscule technology. I have no clue. If you know, let me know in the comments. And last but not least, we left on the coolest of cliffhangers. So basically, it seems like Senku is going to upgrade and pimp out the plane they left behind. And knowing Senku, that bitch is about to be bad, and I can't wait. I'm super excited. What tricks is he gonna add? What's he gonna do? Is there gonna be weapons though? Because he doesn't really have gunpowder. I would assume he'd use the remnants of whatever was left in the machine, but that can't be too much. So we'll see what happens. But I'm extremely excited to see how this goes. The dog fight that ensues. I want to see more of this. I don't even know what to call it. The new Dr. Xenos Kingdom, the Reverse Science Kingdom, whatever. If you have any cool names, I don't know, but this is going to be an incredible arc, and I think we are in for an amazing ride. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to Otaku Talk with OD. I'm OD. Thank you very much. This is going to be one of my first videos to put up, and I know it was a little late, but better late than never. I was super nervous about doing this, and I could use all your support. Please like and subscribe to this video if you liked it, or if you just want to support me. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos in the future. I'm going to be trying my best to get them out at reasonable times. I'm going to mainly focus probably on One Piece, Dr. Stone, and My Hero. And as I get more comfortable recording and editing, I'm going to start adding on other shows and start doing discussion videos, analysis videos, complete series reviews and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. If you guys have any suggestions in my for my videos, let me know. Basically, if you want me to cover a series, let me know. If you think that my video sucks, my when I say video quality, my audio sucks. If you have any recommendations, I am open to them. So anything that can help me become better as a streamer, YouTube podcaster, I would appreciate any and all suggestions. Anyway, thank you. Take care.